Hello everybody, how are we doing? Lindsay's running a little late, so I thought we'd just get started. Great to see you. So we couldn't join you on Tuesday. It was a hectic day. Okay, let's see who's here. Pole position. Oh my goodness, Dawn, you must have been in there an hour early, I reckon. Hi Dawn, good to see you. Hi Stella. 2 more hours, see you then if I'm awake. I think you're here, aren't you, Stella? Sorry that we're running late, especially if you've got up on specially or is awake specially. Ponies at Liberty, hello, how you doing? Hi, Jeanette. Thank you for the prompt. That prompted me to put the post up. Thank you very much. Ponies at Liberty. I purchased dozens of roses and blackberry bushes. Can't wait to plant them. And spotted a newly grown ash tree on my paddock. Oh, environment enrichment. That's awesome, isn't it? What's Pia got to say? Heat wave here in Finland. And what do we do? Warm our sauna. Proud of this crazy country. Proud of me and proud of you. Wonder. Yes, I stand beside you. And let them are stronger here. Yes. Thanks, Pia. Oh, yes. P.S. Hit the like button and subscribe. Very good. We'll get on to hooves and horses in a minute. Hi, Kay. How you doing? Susie Pemberton says, hi, everyone. Oh, well done, Pia. Yes, it's Bethan and Dan's, I think it's classed as a leather wedding anniversary, which is number 3. Happy anniversary, guys. I expect they're out down the pub, I expect. Hi, Ellen from Tennessee. Hello, Becky. How you doing? Nice to see you here. Oh, and another HMB Pro. Shannon. Hey, everyone from Northern Alberta. Seems like forever since I made a live. Well, that's probably because you're out working hard. Suzanne. Hello, darling. How are you? Hi, Sandra. Good to see you. Again, this is the 3rd time this week. Morning from Australia. Hi, Stella. I like your yawny emoji. Yeah, you're still awake, Stella. I think it's balmy. I really do. Stella, wakey, wakey. Angie Medler, hello from Virginia. So Stella had a quick nap and just woke up in time. Great, thank you. Good to see you. Hi, everyone. Back again, waiting for the big live. Well, I think it was the only live, but that's fine. Hi, Lisa from Switzerland here. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Sending love to you all out there. Right back at you, lovely. No, I don't think so. Lindsay's been out busy all day today. Well, particularly this afternoon. Melanie, hi everyone. Dawn, hello everyone. So lovely to see all the now very familiar names. Yeah, it's nice to get some new ones now and again, though, eh? Good evening, all from Trudy. Hope you are all well. I'm right back at you, Trudy. That's no Becky figure of speech. Oh, phew, thought I'd missed one. Oh my goodness, God forbid. Dawn, I missed us too. Bonnie Doyle, hello everyone. Countdown to the USA training camp is on. Can't wait. Yes, so what is it now? So it's Thursday today. So we leave France in 6 days' time, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think it's 11 days. 11 days to the US training camp. And also, don't forget, after the training camp, we're making the most of our visit and our travels. We have got a 3-day workshop in Maryland. Then we're going north to Pennsylvania. Then I'm coming home, and Lindsay, Asher, and the gang carrying on to Ontario, and then on to Calgary. So if you haven't got booked on them, it won't happen again for another year. Make the most of it. Ellen, could be a damaged extensor tendon, feel like low ring bone when palpated. The hard lump disappeared after a few months devil's claw and lower the heels that I insisted on. Okay, but I didn't see anything before that, so I think I'm coming in on a different conversation. Misha, hiya. Oh, there's a message from Tim. Pia, I think there is a challenge club on Saturday too. Yes, there is. Let me just check my calendar. Yes, we wanted to do the challenge club before we went to America, because then we won't be able to do one until everybody's back. So yes, Saturday evening at 8 o'clock UK time. That's thanks to Tim. Yes, great to see everyone again. Great question, Elaine. Well, have I missed the question? Or was that the question? I'll come back to it, Elaine. What's Becky say? Elaine, are you not trimming yourself? I look at that, Pia. Elaine, hold on with your question. Yeah, I'm a bit confused. It might be because I'm a bit knackered. I might have missed the boat. Hi from Sweden. Hi, Jenny. Is it as hot in Switzerland? Hi, Therese. Good to see you. How are you getting on? All good, I hope. Nice and hot in Switzerland. Foxy Paws Totty. I nearly missed this. It's all right. It's always available on catch up. But it is lovely to see you. Oh, it's not started yet. Hi, Jeanette. How you doing? Then we got Foxy saying hi, Maylin saying hi. So goodness me, you were all having a chat before I even got here. Nice to see you, Uta. Stella still awake. Betty, okay then, hi. Thorax, hiya. Goodness me, how many people? Lots of you. What's Challenge Club? Thanks for asking, Foxy. So Challenge Club is for anyone that is either a Hoofing Marvellous professional, a student going through the course, or anybody that has completed either the 10 or the 15-day challenge, sorry, the 15 and or the 10-day challenge, or attended a 3-day workshop. And basically we put it on, or we do our very best when we're not traveling, to put on a challenge club, which is once a month. And basically we all get together on a Zoom call and everybody just shares their successes, their woes, their concerns, and basically has access to usually both Lindsay and I, sometimes it's only one of us, and maybe some of the pros as well. So it's something that we like to add so we all keep in touch. It's really good. The attendance is always high, I have to say, which is absolutely lovely. We love catching up with everyone. So what is the challenges in the workshops? Well, I've just touched on the workshops when we're going to 2 workshops in America and 2 in Canada. In September, we've got one in Frome, which is on the Wiltshire-Somerset border in the UK. And that's at an awesome track livery called New Moon. And New Moon hasn't been up and running for very long. I would say it's probably a maximum of 2 years. And it's an awesome space. It's fantastic. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that because we've not done a workshop there before. And Sarah's doing some amazing work with some horses there. And that's probably it for this year for the in-person workshops. But then if you can't get to those in-person workshops because you're not in the area or even in the same country and you can't travel, then the 15-day challenge is where you start. And basically it's an online version of the 3-day workshop. So it's about layered learning, starting from a level, and then you just build on your knowledge. And in the 10-day, we will start working into the practicalities of the trim. And at the end of that, you can get a cadaver leg and you can send us a video and we'll give you some constructive feedback and hints and tips on your trimming technique. So there's lots for you to be able to do. And if you're interested, then if you're not in the Phoenix Way Path to Hoof Health Facebook group already, then get in there, or just drop us a message and we'll send you the links. Right, so where did I get to? So thanks for asking that for Foxy. Hi, Sarah. Good to see you again. Hi all, just finished today's poo picking. Oh, well done, Meta. Lisa, hi from Chattanooga. Hi, Lisa, good to see you. Wow, that's going to some trip. It is going to be some trip and it will be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. I've never been to the States before. I'm not particularly well traveled, I have to say. But I loved Germany and I'd never been there before. Well, I had been once, but it was on like a day trip excursion. So it wasn't really, and that was to Hamburg. But yes, I'm really looking forward to going to the US. Hopefully make Canada next year. Hi, Tracy. Good to see you earlier. Tracy's one of our students and we had a trim tutorial today with the lovely horse Purdy. Elaine, regarding toes damaged, does damaged extensor tendon feel like low ring bone? There was no conversation prior, just my question out of the blue. Oh, I see. Okay. If there is some trauma to the extensor tendon, it will feel hardened, I think is what's going to be it's going to be a politically correct answer. I'm not sure that I've even come across, not knowingly anyway, the how the extensor tendon is affected. I would imagine that it would be very thickened, particularly at the skin, as it's not just at the extensor tendon. If it was to be thickened or damaged, you would feel it on the skin first before the extensor tendon underneath. Do you see what I mean? There will be a certain amount of movement, but that movement in the skin and that flexibility in the skin would be reduced because it starts to scar. It starts to form a scar tissue. This is the skin. And this is what Lindsay was saying when we dissected that foot that was really upright. And right here, when she took all the skin off, it didn't have as much movement in it in that area because it had been pinched and it was rubbing. So I would think it would feel quite rough because the tendon is sort of breaking down. So it wouldn't surprise me, but low ring bone is normally it's a little bit more noduly, so it's a little bit more rough. So almost a bit like sandpaper, but on the bone, because that bone is created because of imbalances. I hope that helps, Ellen. Oh, it's Anne from Stratford. Hiya. I'm still waiting for the 10-day challenge because the page doesn't work. Oh, really? Let me make a note of that because I will test it. It may be something to do with your browser. Can you try a different browser? Or clear your cache and cookies? Sometimes that can interfere. But I wasn't aware of a problem. But after or when Lindsay joins us in a second, I'll go in and check to make sure that the link works. If not, message me directly and I'll help you through it, okay? And if you're not Foxy Paws Totty on when you message me, you better say it's Foxy Paws Totty, because otherwise I might ignore you. I'll see who's this wonderful person. We've got YouTube names that are different to their real names, to their Facebook names. And yes, it gets very confusing. And it doesn't take much to confuse me, I tell you. So 15-day. And which part of the world are you in, Foxy? Are you in US, Australia, Europe? Let me know, because it will depend on which link that I check for you. The 2025 International Workshop Tour has been amazing. Yeah, and it's not over yet. We've got 6 more to do, of which I'm only attending 3. I'd like to do more, but no, somebody's got to be at home and looking after the students. Okay, so Ponies at Liberty, great, and found you on Facebook. Excellent. Nice to have you here. Welcome, Ponies. Regarding the 10-day challenge, I didn't get to complete my completion certificate. Oh, didn't you? Drop me a message, Dawn, and I'll make sure that that's available for you. It may have been a glitch, but I'll go in and make sure that it's working again. You may even be able to go back and see if you can do it now. Hello, Lee. How you doing? Nice to see you here, mate. I don't think you were 30 minutes late. I think I was nearly 30 minutes late starting. Oh, Rachel was going to invoice you. Okay, I'll have a chat with Rachel. I'm surprised that if she said that it hasn't been done, because she's so efficient. But I will double check. Hi, Lee. Hello, Becky. How are you? Okay, thanks. I'm Anne Anderson. Oh, thanks, Foxy. $15-day. Thank you so much. Okay, Foxy Paws. Oh, you're in the UK. Superb. Ponies. That reminds me. I'm Claudia Linden on Facebook. Hi, Claudia. Now, you're not going to expect me to remember that, are you? I'll remember it for tonight, but that'll be it. Lee says, I had the worst client today. Horse kicked me twice. Oh dear. So was that the owner's fault or the horse's fault? Oh dear. Never mind. It happens. Thanks, Gary. It's over a year, so it may take some finding. Oh no, it won't. It'll be fine. It was my wife and my own my own horse. Okay, so which one was it? That's funny, Lee. Great job. Okay, I have no idea where Lindsay is, so you're going to have to ask me a question. Let me see where she is, because I can stalk her.
She's just got home.
All right, she's just arrived, so she'll be rushing in the door, probably needing a pee. So we got 5 minutes to kill. Oh, it was Scarlett, was it, Lee? Oh, bless her. Love Scarlett. She's so lucky to have found you. Okay, so what have I been up to today, or over the last few days, whilst you put up a question or two? I did a lovely realignment trim with a Phoenix Warrior and her trimmer, which was lovely. And it went really well. It went really well. It took us 2 hours and the horse stood like a lamb, which was great. They had been trimming quite a bit after following YouTube videos, guidance that's on the page and on YouTube, but they didn't quite get to where they needed to go. So they had a one-to-one with me. I have to say, it would have been so much more difficult if they hadn't have had a go themselves to start with, and he'd already started to feel more comfortable. But now they've gone on to that next step, and having that one-to-one with a realignment is second to none, because I have to say it's a fairly simple process, but along the way, if you misinterpret what we're saying, things can go slightly wrong, if that makes sense. So it's better to have somebody with you that can be there, guide you and watch you to make sure that these little things that can make it have little setbacks don't happen. It's really difficult, isn't it, when we can't get to everybody in person. So having online consultations are a really good way around of that. Not that it needs to happen every single time. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that if you need help to get the foot back into some sort of relative order, then an online consultation can very often be very helpful. And that doesn't necessarily have to be with me or Lindsay. It can be with one of our pros that have had experience in doing realignments. Also, I have to say as well, with regards to realignments, with a lot of horses' feet, if you can actually exfoliate the foot properly and get down to the hard sole plane, trimming to the hard sole plane does the realignment all for you. You're almost doing it without realizing, because heels can be long, toes can be shorter, but when you trim to the hard sole plane, that realignment is already happening. The only time that there causes confusion with that is when there is compaction. Now, when you've got compaction, and this is where the expert eyes come in, the heels are a bit higher than they should be. And the heel height and the vertical toe height are not at within a certain ratio, then you've got, you need to be able to ascertain where that hard sole plane is. We've got to go searching for it, is what I'm saying. And that's not easy. Equally, when people misread that, they can go looking for the hard sole plane and over trim. So it is quite a speciality. It really is. But it was really nice to help that horse and those two people, and it was nice to have an open-minded professional there to help. It was, because that can be a tricky situation, and I really take my hat off to pros that are already out there doing the job and are willing to learn. That's awesome. That's so encouraging, because a lot of the time we get a lot of negative press, but seeing people from around the world that are already out there trimming, happy to help their owners and still continue to learn, which is awesome. Gee, you use pen and paper. That's why I like it. I don't know what that means. Sorry, Pia. I may have lost the plot. Heather Swithenbank. Hi, sorry, I'm late. Hi, Heather. Well, you're not really late. I've just been having a nice chat with everybody. Susie Pemberton. How to find the hard sole plane on a donkey. It's exactly the same as with a horse. You take away all of the flaky sole. So if there is any flaky sole, that so to speak, depends on what surface the donkeys are on. Same with horses, really. If they're on a fairly soft surface or a grassy surface, then some of the sole can back up slightly. But when you get the nippers in there or a knife in there, it starts to flake off. You take all that flakiness away, and then it gets down to sort of like a waxy layer. And then that waxy layer is your hard sole plane. The bars need to go into the hard sole plane as well. So remember, the bars are part of the hoof wall. They're an extension of the hoof wall. So we're not carving them out. We're just trimming them to the hard sole plane, just like we do with the hoof wall all the way around the outside. It's the same thing. It's just that the bars need to be passive and into that bowl effect of the hoof. Equally, again, that's relatively easy to do as long as you haven't got compaction. Donkeys can have compaction too. Hope that helps. Oh, Jeanette saying you're not late. Sarah, Gary, you should explain how to balance a temporary heel with a blown abscess. Okay. Like that we chatted about. Let me see if I can find that picture. Bear with me a second. I think I've got it somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Now, apologies for the quality of the picture. It was a snapshot that I took off a video. So it's not the best picture in the world. So bear with. That's oh my God, all the icons have changed. Oh, here we go. I hadn't noticed that when I started. Okay, so ignore the name. This is dumping ground and playground. So when I grab a picture or a video or anything like that, and I want to just have a wee mess about, or it's a quick thing to just put a picture in and do something with Canva, this is my dumping ground. Look, there's loads of it. If I come right the way out, there's loads. Look. So what happened on this foot? This horse had a abscess in his bar all the way around here. Now this is grown out now, but what ended up happening is because he didn't have heel on the ground here, because it had snapped off because of the abscess, we had a good heel here. And this is obviously, this is before a trim, okay? This is before a trim. What there was a little bit of confusion about is when the heel was here instead, because obviously the foot has got to land this side at the back somewhere. It was an automatic assumption, which I thought was, and I hadn't thought of it before, which was great. But Sarah thought, well, if I've got to balance from here, I should balance to here. And I thought, oh, I've never even thought about that before, because you wouldn't, because you've still got a heel. So because you've got a heel, you actually balance from here to where the temporary heel is. Now, years and years ago, I had a horse that had a massive blowout, even more so than this horse. And basically the heel, the temporary one, was right the way down here. But she was sound after the abscess had burst. So all of this had blown the abscess. And then some months later, over time, all of this decided to break off. And it left a lovely new sole underneath, which was great. And then over several trims, what happened is this temporary heel worked its way back until the new heel was arrived again. And then you balance back to that new heel. But I thought it was interesting that it was thought that you would balance to here. No, you don't. You actually balance to here. And then what happens is this area here becomes more calloused, particularly in the sole area. Just like if the foot hasn't got its own balance at the front, it calluses at the toe. The foot is really good at adapting, but then you maintain that foot and the heel comes back. It doesn't matter which side the abscess was in, you do the same thing, but you don't over trim. You take the heel down to where it can be, and then you balance this one to it. Now, that is not easy because it's completely skew width. You've got loads of other information that your eyes are taking in, and you've got to ignore it all. You go from this area to this new temporary heel, and then as you come back and trim more, it will shift back, and then the heel will replace itself. Thankfully, it doesn't happen very often. But when it does, it can be a bit of a shock. Okay. Thanks for that tip, Sarah. I hope that was interesting for everyone. Oh, yes. That's my biggest fear, doing something wrong. That's everybody's fear, doing something wrong. Foxy, and I've forgotten what your real name is. Anne. But if you know where the hard sole plane is, you can't really go wrong. If you don't go past the hard sole plane, you can't really go wrong. So trimming to the hard sole plane and balancing. Now, that sounds really easy, doesn't it? Those two things, trim to the hard sole plane and balance. That's basically what it is. Balance the heels first and then balance the heels to the toe. But if there is no toe on the ground, you cannot balance to the toe because you don't know how thick that sole is. Okay. I had somebody that contacted me and they had done exactly that. They had taken the heel down and they thought, oh, I thought the balance was off. But the balance was off from the heel to the toe callus in his eyes. So then he decided that he was going to take the toe callus away, and now the horse is sore because the sole's been thinned. You cannot judge that balance from front to back without toe wall in play. You just can't. You just can't. Okay. Please don't talk to me about compaction. Yes. Compaction is a bugger. The more that our horses move, the less likely there is to be compaction. The more that they stand around doing nothing, the more likely there is compaction. Equally, if we've got a horse that is injured itself, that can't physically walk as far, that's another red flag for watching compaction. It's almost that you actually want to measure the heels when the feet are healthy. Measure the heels, take photos, measure the heels, have a history bank of what's going on with your horse's feet. Because when you've got this history of what's going on with the horse's feet, if something goes a bit wayward and you've got almost pictures of every trim, you've got all of that data. When something starts to go wrong, you can go back and look at when everything was right. Are the feet the same shape? Are the heels at the same height? Is there enough vertical toe? So that's basically, if this was a hoof, vertical toe is actually from the coronet band to the ground. So from, where's my camera gone? So from the coronet band to the ground. So this height here, for so many horses, that height is not enough. So there's not enough foot. So I go back to trimming the sole or the toe callus to balance the foot up. You don't know how thick that is because you don't know that measurement and never did. Also, when horses' heels are very high, generally speaking, and it's not in every case, you bring the heels down and there's not enough toe on the ground. So therefore, it's been removed. Interesting, eh? Viv Avery, good morning, beautiful people. Hi, Viv. How you doing? I hope you got my message. I came back to you on the school message chat. I haven't been in there for a day or two. I hope you got it. Do you think I should arrange a one-to-one for Bung Girl's realignment trim for the front left, or did my trim on Lily's look as if I can do it myself? I think you're doing a very good job. I think you're doing a very good job with Lily. I've forgotten your real name. I think it's Lisa. Oh my God, that's so rubbish. It was only a couple of weeks ago. But I know exactly who you are in my head, and your lovely track and your husband putting up this amazing fencing. Oh my goodness. And you sent me videos, so I know who you are. I think you're doing a great job. But what I would do is the foot that is better, measure the heels. Particularly the vertical heel height, and see if you can get the same one to match it. But remember, you can't trim in front of the apex of the frog. And then send me images. I'm happy to guide you. I think you're doing a grand job because you started already. So I think you're doing a very good job. But equally, if you want a bit of reassurance, by all means, let me know and I'll happy do a one-to-one with you. Sorry, in fact, asking a specific about questions, not really interesting for everyone. Oh, I expect everyone else is very interested because you're doing a grand job. And why are you doing a grand job? Because you came to a 3-day workshop and met us in Germany. You've got that newfound confidence now. Well done. Always interesting. Thanks, Jeanette. Compaction is the hardest thing to deal with. And I have to say, Lindsay and I think we have taken it for granted over the years because we can just see it and just deal with it. Now we've had to come up with ways that we can actually talk through people how to deal with it without being there ourselves, that's quite challenging, I have to say. And it's not because the people at the other end of the call can't do it, can't understand. It's how we have to explain it so it goes into different people's heads and comes out in their hands as if we're there with them. So that's the challenge. Yeah, it works really well, and everybody is so on it because they just want the best for their horses, and we want the best for them. It's a great job. It's a great job. We love doing it. I was amazed at the temporary heel and the hoof had grown. Very clever. Yeah, and sometimes the heel can come back instead of it going like I said. Let me bring that picture back again. Let me share my screen. Oh, hold on. Pushed the wrong button. Something else is interfering. Let me bring that picture back again. So what was actually happening with this foot is all of this went away, and you can actually see there is just a little dip. So you've actually got a hoof wall here now, and now there is heel here. So you've got heel, then you've got a gap in the quarter, and then you've got a hoof wall. So it doesn't always come back from here to the heel. It depends. The heel can grow and get there, and it's almost like a little mountain pillar on its own until this bit catches up. So it doesn't always come, like I said, it depends on the level of the abscess and where it came out, and also the balance of the foot when it happened. All of those things have to be taken into consideration, but biology is absolutely wonderful, isn't it? So you end up with the temporary heel here, and then it starts to grow back. We got a little gap, but the heel grew before the hoof wall just in this area here. There was a little gap. And there's nothing we can do about that. We can't fill it. We can't do anything. But equally, isn't it interesting that this bit has grown, but this bit hasn't just yet, because it's still not got activity. So, when we talk about when we take the toe off, the feedback mechanisms become a bit retarded. Does it stop growing? No, but it does reduce significantly. And that's perhaps what's happened here too, because it's all part of horn tubules and feedback mechanisms. Great, eh? Thanks, Sarah. That's amazing, the temporary heel. Yes, and I have to say, when I first saw it, and it was quite shocking. It was many years ago now, and it was like I was in there, I was nipper dragging, and this horse was barefoot, and she'd been a client for some time, but she had some lameness issues, and she would have abscesses. And I think before I got there, people weren't dealing with the bars as much as they should. And all of a sudden she had a massive abscess, and they said, well, she's fine now. And then it wasn't the first trim, it was the second trim after that. And I was in there and I was clearing the decks, and basically it was like a whole quarter of the foot came off. It was all loose. So it went into the collateral grooves by the frog. And it was almost like a whole chunk of heel came off, and all underneath was new sole and everything. But you could see where there was this little bit of callus on the hoof wall, the hoof wall and sole. And it was almost that it knew that it was going to come off, and it had already prepared itself. And all I had to do was balance it. It was, yeah, that's happened. I could probably say it's happened about 6 or 7 times in my career. So it doesn't happen very often. It doesn't happen very often. And I think what's really important, this horse, once the abscess had burst, she was sound. Would I have ridden her with that foot? Perhaps not, because she would have been a little bit out of balance. But on her own 4 feet, she was absolutely fine. No problem at all. And I find that interesting because I try and sit on the fence a little bit. What would another hoof care professional do? They'd probably try and shoe it, wedge it, cast it, truss it up, when the horse is actually shown us by putting in that temporary heel, and we have to just maintain that balance for them, and they do very well. It's an interesting thought process, isn't it? When something like that happens, and it's quite drastic. When it happened, of course, she wasn't lame, she wasn't sore. All underneath, the sole was a little bit soft because it hadn't had contact with the air yet, until I came along with me nippers and nipper dragged, and I thought, oh, this is all a bit loose. Got in there a little bit more, and then a load of it came off. Like I said, a bit shocking to start with, but then you just think to yourself, hold on a minute, what's Mother Nature done here? What's the biology doing? Where's the balance now? There's no heel. And we're talking at the back of the foot, there was about that much missing. So you couldn't balance the other heel right the way down, because otherwise that would have made her sore on the other side. So you have to just sort of like logically think it through. Okay. Oh, that's really interesting. You're very welcome. Pleasure. The temporary callus was the perfect height. Hooves are so cool, aren't they? Oh my goodness. And we say it all the time. They are so predictable. When we see what happens, even the recovery is predictable. And I have to say, the recovery is not straight up like that. There can be a few little bumps in the way. But yes, the hoof, well, let's face it, biology is predictable. If it's got the means to heal, why shouldn't we let it? That's the thing, isn't it? If we've got the means to allow it to heal, then we should do everything in our power to do that. So that's a bit like that horse I was telling you about that I did the realignment trim, and they had started realigning already, doing a great job, but it just wasn't quite enough. But his heels were so high, his coronet band was almost horizontal. So it was almost straight along instead of having that nice angle coming down. But once we got the heel down, even though he seemed to have a lot of foot when it was upright, once we actually got the heel down, there wasn't enough foot at the front. And his feet didn't look as though they were short at all. But by the time, because of the distortion that's been created, because the heel's high and there is a certain amount of toe that's been removed, when you bring the heels down, the toe goes up. And if we'd have ended up taking the heel down and then trimming it flat forward, we would have taken too much sole away, and therefore the pedal bone would have been poking through the sole. That's why you can't trim in front of the apex of the frog when you're doing a realignment. You can't. You do not know how much sole is there. Thanks for that, Sarah. Thank goodness R2 are on a kilometre long track and they hardly stop. That's great. So the likelihood of compaction is quite slim, I have to say. So that's good. That's good. And even if you did have compaction from previous hoof care or environmental issues, you're on the right surface for that to start to give now, but we still need to maintain those feet. You're welcome, Dawn. No problem. And I got your message, so that will remind me to sort that out for you. Oh, don't worry, Viv. That's absolutely fine. As long as you got my message, and you're absolutely fine. Please don't worry. Please don't worry. So Sarah Lou, that's the beauty of a HM trim with a rehab, getting to the horse before any toe is removed, allowing the horse to remain correctly balanced throughout the process and heal correctly. Totally, I couldn't put it together, put it better myself. And I think what makes the world crazy, particularly about the way that we rehab horses, is they really can't get that the distortion was there in the foot before we came along. It was just hidden inside. As soon as we realign the foot, all of that distortion shows itself, because it's got to, because otherwise the foot won't heal. It really is that simple. If the distortion is hidden in the foot, it's got to come out somewhere. You can't hide it. Otherwise, you're causing more distortion, more discomfort, and inhibiting those amazing biological systems to be able to make it heal. Horses are very good at adapting. They really are. But they can only adapt for so long, and then they get tipped over the edge. That's why people say, well, my horse went down with laminitis and it happened overnight, just like that. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Not with rotation anyway. Rotation doesn't happen overnight. It can't. It's a physical impossibility. Oh, thorax compaction, my nemesis. Yeah, it is compaction is a pain. Poor River Blue has so much. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, it was Lisa. Oh, my memory's not as bad as I think it is. No worries, Gary. Thank you so much. We'll measure and go ahead. We'll send photos. I miss everyone from the workshop, and I'm so grateful. It was great to meet you, Lisa. I was grateful I was able to attend. Beware, I will be back. Awesome. Hopefully next year. Hopefully next year. Unless you want a globe trot, of course. You can always come and see us wherever we are around the world. Contraction underrun heels. Like there is. Oh, heel I found so difficult. It's tape over a year, and I think I'm not. I think I'm on the right track. Okay, let's hope so. And if that's one with your case studies, then we're going to be able to help you. Well, even if it's not one of your case studies, we're going to be able to help you anyway, aren't we? Well done, Viv. Biology has been my thing. I have huge faith in nature, as do I. And it's that happy medium, isn't it? We've got nature, we've got biology, but we've got horses in a domestic environment. So we have to make allowances, but Mother Nature should be our prime goal and guide. Anything else is just guesswork. It really is. It's just guesswork. Okay, we're coming to the end now because I'm losing my voice. I've been talking all day. And apologies that Lindsay wasn't able to join us. Perhaps something's gone wrong somewhere. I shall find out later. So Pia, Gary, you explain all so well, but where did your big wine glass? Where is your big wine glass? We see everything you know behind you. Oh, my big wine glass. What wine glass? Oh, that's not a wine glass. Are you meaning that one there, that's not a wine glass. That's like it's a bowl, and it's got loads of shells in it. It would be nice if it was full of wine. I wouldn't be able to talk without slurring on the telly. My pony had an abscess last winter. A barn friend put a bandage and a tape around the hoof and poured water and disinfected it with liquid. Yeah, to be quite honest, a lot of people panic about abscesses. To be quite honest, I leave them to it. And that may sound quite careless, but once an abscess is burst, what you want is that horse to move. And you want them to move so all of the gunk that is in the foot can work its way out. And again, biology is a wonderful thing. Once all of that infection has burst, what happens is the hoof starts healing and the tissues start granulating from the inside of the foot. So wherever the abscess is inside the foot most. And then as it's granulating and healing, it's starting to push all of that stuff out. So putting a cover on it, don't like it. It's much better to just leave them to it. As long as they can move, of course. If not, an absorbent pad and a boot. But I have to say, most of the time, that's not required. Oh, and it got better immediate. Why is that? I would say it was probably because it burst. Was it anything to do with the water and the disinfectant? I think it was just coincidence, because horses can go from walking around as though they've got a broken leg, and then as soon as it bursts, they can think, oh, I can walk again, and it's absolutely fine. It's not always the case. Sometimes it can be a little bit staggered. But yeah, I would say that was quite coincidental. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me. And I've had a ball. You've asked some lovely questions and prompted me to give some little lessons, which is awesome. You never disappoint. So thank you so much, and we shall see you soon. I'm not actually sure when that will be, because on Tuesday next week we will be busy packing, and we've got to be up at as one of my old colleagues would say, at a sparrow's fart, really early on Wednesday morning. So we will catch up with you on our travels to America, maybe even before. We'll see. But yes, thank you ever so much for joining me. I've had a lovely evening, and I'll see you soon. Take care now. Be good.